This week on Gaming Dudes Podcast. We're a go.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Game Dudes Podcast. I'm Bren.
I am Spidey. We are back.
We're here, late.
Yes, we've been going through
Again.
quite a few things, but what I was going to say here is, I got all masks. So I beat Majora's Mask, my brother. I beat it 100% complete. I got every single mask.
Recently?
Yes. Just on Monday. I was late into the night just gaming away. It's been a while since I've gamed like that. I sat down and I did it. And I walked out, and now I can properly talk about Majora's Mask. I can properly talk about it. Like not just be like, "Oh, that was I didn't get to the final battle. I beat it."
You could have. Oh, yeah, you never even beat it before.
Yeah, dude, I never beat it. So I went 100%. I was like, you know what? Instead of whining about it. So for me, my opinions on the game have solidified. It is still way up there as a game. It is still easily my second favorite. First is Ocarina of Time, obviously. But it is better than Twilight Princess. We talked about it a bit where I was like,
whoa,
it is still better. I mean, I even thought it was, but it
is better, dude.
It was so much
well,
better.
I can't talk because I never played.
Yeah, it was. This is the thing. This is the thing Majora's Mask does. I will say this: it feels like it was made in a year. If you get what I'm saying, like it does kind of feel like it was. Majora's Mask does.
I don't know. I don't remember
because it was made in a year. It was made in a year, and I'm saying this from when I heard it.
It's shocking.
I was in shock the first time I heard that. But when I finally beat it, did every possible thing, minus the heart pieces. Who does the pieces of heart stuff? That's for me. I never do that. That's too much. Getting like a full thing of like heart pieces. So finally, after experiencing all of that, I walked in, with the 60 FPS hack. I had that. It looked way better. It ran way better. But I was like, oh, this is, it made the game even more addictive. Just having this enhanced. Like, it was already amazing. But it was even better now. Because I could play it just in a form that was so good. So thank you to the mod community. Because you made my...
You should have streamed it. That would have been awesome.
Oh, I should have. It was literally bonkers. It was such a crazy...
I would have watched. If you did it on Monday, I definitely would have watched.
It was nuts. It was one of those games where, like, I complained about it. I've complained about it. I complain about things. Like I've even complained about certain things with Ocarina of Time. But believe it or not, I actually have.
Nothing's perfect. It's like.
But I will say this about this game: very well written. I almost thought I wish they would have gotten more time because it's an amazing game. Yes, but if they could have gotten like 8 dungeons in the game, it would have been way too long. But I do think part of me is in a fight with myself.
They're trying to?
They wanted to make a Zelda expansion. They wanted to make an expansion to Ocarina of Time, add more dungeons to it, add more content. Anuma, the guy who made it, AG Anuma. I don't know. I'm bad with name pronunciations, but he was like, I don't want to. He was complaining to me about it. He's like, I don't want to make Ocarina of Time again. How do you improve on Ocarina of Time? That's what he said. How do you improve on the game? He's like, I think we did the best we could. Like, how do we really add anything?
Incredible.
How do we add anything?
The guy who did the music in that was
yeah, dude. Koji Kondo.
Gotta be the best video game music of all time to me.
Even Majora's Mask has some real good tracks. Now, I will say, it's definitely, what's funny is it's such a dark game, but the music is so lively. Like, it's very lively. It's livelier than Ocarina of Times. I feel like Ocarina of Times is more emotional in terms of the way it's done. Majora's Mask is more, oh, hey, check this out, this wacky little adventure. I feel like it kind of, it was, I think they took a risk, is what I was saying. They took a risk with Majora's Mask. They took a risk with making a game for a year, and it paid off. It paid off. I am 100% satisfied with this game. This game, phenomenal. Couldn't ask for a better
I think you were going to say it was better than...
Dude, Twilight Princess, this is the thing. Twilight Princess, in comparison, is much more linear. I love linearity, okay? I love it.
Me too!
I love linearity, but there is a point. I will vouch this for the wolf sections. When you are at the beginning of that game, Twilight Princess, you have forced sections that you have to get these teardrops and stuff, and they're fun. They're all right. But it's like Majora's Mask doesn't force me to sit here and do a segment I don't like. Or if there is a segment I don't like, there is a charm in it. If there's a temple I don't like, there's still a charm in the writing. Same with Ocarina of Time. The first dungeon, Deku Tree dungeon. I'll be like, oh, why am I not an adult? But I'm still like completely enraptured in this world. It absorbs me in the world, and its graphics are so low poly. They're so low poly, but I still think it looks good. I don't know why. I didn't grow up with it.
Too.
I actually didn't. I was like 13 or 14 when I beat Ocarina of Time and played it. I was not like 5 or 6. I didn't get to play it.
Well, you did grow up with it. I mean,
yes, I grew up with it, but I'm saying I didn't grow up with it like usual people. People were like, 5 years old? I've heard people say, oh, I'm real young when I played this. I was like, I got it later in my gaming life. And I still loved it. I still loved it, brother. In fact, it became my favorite game of all time because of it. It
now
did.
Or then?
Ocarina of Time, even now, it did. Because when I remember and look back on it.
You like it more than Ocarina of Time?
No, I'm talking about Ocarina of Time. That's what I was talking about.
Well, Ocarina of Time, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Majora's Mask. Oh, dude, it's up there. It's honestly, it may be second because of how good it was. It was literally.
I don't know what else would be second.
I don't know.
I really, really, really like Link to the Past. I really do. So that's kind of hard for me, but
Majora's Mask for me, as a kid, I was not, I was 50-50 on it because it was so hard. It was so hard, dude. It still was difficult today, but I stomped it because I was able to, get past the thought of, failing. Because failing in that game is awful. It's awful. The moon falls down. Majora.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible. They punish you hard. If you want a baby Zelda game, Majora is not the one to play. If you want a game where you can chill and sit down, it's like a speed run. Someone described it like that. You're basically doing this, and then where you have to get everything done in each cycle. So, next 3 days, gotta do this. Next 3 days, gotta do this. And I kept doing that. And the more I kept doing it, the more I kept making things more efficient. I would grab 100 rupees on top of this roof multiple times. I'd restart the timeline to get more money over and over. I'd put it in the bank. I would do I'd do little optimizations these days that I didn't know as a kid. I had no clue that there was. I was like, I had no clue that there was 100 rupees on a roof. I could have easily gotten those instead of shooting that stupid bird that steals your shield. There's a bird outside the city, and I kept freaking doing that. And I was like, and then when I got to the final boss, when you get the Fierce Deity mask, they finally gave it to me. They finally gave that mask to me, and I destroyed it. He dies in they weren't kidding. You kill the boss so fast. In some ways,
I've only seen videos of it, but
in some ways, it is kind of, for me, it's like, I love it. You know me. I like a challenge. So I was like, why don't we just power him up too? I was like, why is he? But I get it because you go through so much crap to get that. You go through so much.
To get the mask?
Yeah, to get Fierce Deity, you have to do so much crap. You have to help everybody. And some people are like, oh, I love that. I'm like, this is what I was thinking. This was my thought process. Why would I care about these characters? They're the side cast. I'm not like, oh, dude, I'm emotionally invested in this random guy.
I can't believe you
fully did it.
Fully did it.
It's because I was like, this game is so charming and so good. It would be a disservice to it to not do it. It would be a disservice for me to not do that.
That's crazy.
And honestly, I'll probably do it again. I will.
Wow.
I will. That's because Majora's Mask is addicting. Once you've done it once, you sit there for hours because you're going back in time. You're like, oh, I can go back in time and do this. Then I got to tackle this. You're goal oriented. That's how the old Zelda games were. You'd be like, oh, I can hit this temple, or I can hit this heart piece, or I can hit this, collectible. well, I'm doing this, or oh, I'm going to spend this whole cycle doing side quests. It made side quests fun. That's something Majora's Mask also did, which so many games don't do that well. Can you think of do you remember Arkham's side quests? Did you ever do
Like
those?
Arkham Asylum?
Arkham City, like in terms of like the
Oh,
hush stuff, the murder mystery stuff. I never did it.
barely.
I did
Barely.
Deadshot. I did Deadshot once.
I pretty much just ran through the main plot the whole time.
And
Like,
it was miserable.
rushed it.
It was miserable. It was
I did do everything. I did 100% complete Arkham.
oh, Asylum,
Asylum.
yeah. Well, because Asylum's
It was awesome.
because Asylum is nice, and that's probably my next 100% goal, to be honest, brother. If I do another 100%,
It's a good one. It's not as hard as you think. I feel like it's less hard than Majora's Mask for sure.
Majora's Mask is like you're literally basically saying, "Hey, this game, you're like I'm going to go through the hardest failures and disappointments possible. The most difficult, like saddest, most annoying, frustrating quests. But then I played it and I shut off my brain of main plot, because the main plot of Majora's Mask is not where it's at with the four giants. Where you save all those like races. That's not where the plot is. That was my mistake when I first played it. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do these and then just shut up, side quests. I'll never get the Fierce Deity Mask. I failed at the couples quest. I failed it. But when I finally sat down and I said, I'm doing this. I'm playing this game. I'm doing it. It was super easy. I'm not kidding. It was really easy. It was like when I sat down and planned things out properly and I let go of my frustration and rage quitting like a little baby on a quest.
Yes.
I finally did it.
Did you do that after you?
It was really hard to do that because I had basically beaten the game last time. I just didn't have all the masks. I was so close. That freaking couples mask was the last mask I had to get. And when I finally got it, I got that.
Oh, the couples mask, dude.
Yeah, the couples mask. It was a quest
that's when you have to do the
It's so bad.
to help that little kid, right?
Yes, you have to help. You have to help Kai-Fei. That's his name. Yeah.
Dude, I hated that.
I was so mad because, especially with that, imagine if you didn't have guides. Back in the day, how as a kid would you complete Majora's Mask?
Yeah, the only time I ever did it was when I had guides.
And I did, and I was like,
it was so hard.
It was so it's punishing. It's so punishing.
It's punishing. It is.
It is a game that never lets you like breathe. It never lets you breathe. It very much is like, oh, you got to do this. Are you wasting time? Ocarina of Time, I could chill. I could go around the world and kind of look at the visuals and look at the characters and kind of appreciate what's going on. You can't do that in Majora's Mask. You cannot do that. Literally, you can't. You are everywhere. You're here, then you're here, then you're here, and then you're like, you have to do this quest. Oh, got to do it on this cycle. Can't waste a cycle. Got to do this. Got to do that. What are you doing? You can't sit there. You can't goof around. Oh, you helped this person? Well, you got to go back in time and undo that. Oh, you failed for something? You got to, you died to a boss? Get back in there.
It's a blast.
Get back in there.
What a game.
And I was surprised to see how good it was. It held up. Its story was good. I was disappointed by the ending. I'm always disappointed by Zelda game endings, except Ocarina of Time. Mostly because I didn't get to see him. I didn't get to see Link like go back to Hyrule. I just see him on a horse. And this is what kills me about it.
It's basically like, let's not make this definitive at all.
You know what kills me about it? Happy Mask Man says this. He's like, a parting. He's like, a parting is not permanent. A parting is temporary. He says that at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, were they setting up for something? It feels like they were.
I think they were.
They were. And I never realized this. I realized where the payoff is. It's Twilight Princess. I'm not kidding. Twilight Princess is the third game. I'm not even speculating.
I know. It's why I need to play it.
It is the third game.
Okay, so
out of 10, Ocarina of Time.
10.
Majora's.
9.7. The only points off are because it didn't have dungeons. More dungeons. That's it. That's my only complaint. I just want more
Twilight
dungeons.
Princess.
It's like a 9. I love it. You know, for me, a 9 is kind of like, it's great.
Really good.
Yes, it's really
Insane.
good. Yes, it's really good.
I mean, that's such a good score.
I'm saying yes, it is good. Yes, it's good. But
Like, what?
this is the thing. There's 10s and there's like way higher scores, and it's like,
Of course, but
Now, I
9's like almost perfect.
I will say there is one thing Twilight Princess did better than, not better than Ocarina of Time, better than Majora's Mask. Characters. Your main characters are better than the main characters in
Twilight
Majora's
Princess?
Mask. Because in Majora's Mask, you meet the only characters I was attached to, and this is the truth. I liked the Gorons and I liked the Zoras. I liked them, but I had no attachment to a specific character in them. Same with the Deku. I was never like, oh, I feel so bad for these guys. They were fun parts of the game to play, but I was never like, oh, I'm attached to these characters. Twilight Princess, I walked in, I was like, I hate these guys. They suck.
Yeah.
Get them out of here. And then at the end, I was like, oh my. I was like, these are some of the best characters in the series.
I played Ocarina of Time so many times that I like remember it all very vividly.
Same with Majora's Mask.
There's a lot from Majora's Mask for me that I beat
Same.
it like twice, but it was so long ago I don't remember.
Well, John,
much.
you know why you
I
didn't
don't remember it as thoroughly as Ocarina of Time. I played over and over and over, like literally over and over and over again.
It's like
over and over.
Yeah, same here.
It's like I would just explore around.
Same.
Like I would just like replay it and just like look around everywhere.
And I'm playing this Majora's Mask, and I got that same feeling. I always get this
I
feeling.
remember I would like catch pose and for hours.
Oh yeah, dude, I would go out and ride my horse, jumping over fences, because the world was like, it wasn't so big that it was annoying.
I didn't really do that in Majora's Mask.
No, because you're constantly being hounded by the clock, which is good.
That's true.
But this is the thing. Ocarina
Them
of
making that
Time.
in a year, that's insane.
And I'm thinking
Those guys are so gifted. If they made that in a year,
and he was dared. Miyamoto dared him. He was like, I dare you to make a game in a year. I dare you. He was like, I dare you to do it. You have a year to do this. Do
Well, he
you
did
accept
it, and
this
he killed
challenge? And he did. And honestly, I am so freaking frustrated that I don't get to see my favorite Link have a real definitive ending, like an actual ending.
yeah.
I was so mad that I didn't get to see him go back to Hyrule.
My favorite Link was
Breath of the Wild, dude.
Yeah.
Femboy,
You tell
dude.
me off. That's what you tell me off the pod, dude. You're always
Yeah,
like, dude, he's my
always
favorite.
like, he's my favorite one, dude.
it was like
yeah, dude. That's the community. Believe it or not, that's the community, and that is also being clipped. Like I said, that's the community. They love that boy. They love him. They love him. That's the community of Breath of the Wild. Now,
I gotta say he's pretty.
I will say this:
It's just true.
the Hero of Time, though, people are obsessed with that son of a gun, brother. They like the Link from A Link to the Past, and they like the one from Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. Those are the ones they like. Wind Waker Link is a toss-up. People either love him or they hate him.
I love him.
I
mean, he's not like obviously not as cool
I
as the
like
other
him, but it makes me sad because, you know, I like the art style of Wind Waker. It is timeless. It is a timeless art style. You know, it is timeless. It's cel shaded. It looks good. But I almost am like, do these plot points really fit in a game like this, where they're talking about like, oh, you know, Hyrule being buried under the sea, and you know, we're moving on. Zelda's no longer Tetra. You know, like, I mean, Zelda stays Tetra. You know, we're forgetting about the old and moving on to the new. It's like, do these themes really belong in Wind Waker? That's what I thought when I was a kid. Now I'm like, they do. I mean, what else would it have if it didn't have those? It'd be the most boring Zelda game, period. You'd just be going around to find your sister, which, like, that's a good plot. But if that was the entire thing where it was like, oh, I gotta go save my sister, would that really be that impactful? If it was just like,
not as much
as it was, if it didn't have like the pirates, if it didn't have Tetra, if it didn't have like that stuff.
Wouldn't be Tetra's that stuff's awesome.
And when they took away the sword, do you remember that sneaking segment where you're going to the fortress at the beginning?
Oh, don't
That
get
was
me
so.
started.
I remember how ticked I was as a kid. I was like, I have to go get my sword. I have to sneak to my sword. Now I kind of appreciate it because it's like, I mean, it
When
was.
when I first played it, I was just like, dude,
I was ticked.
like I want to fight my way through this.
I was like,
Obviously,
why is there stealth in
but
this?
yeah, it is. I'd probably think it was cooler now.
Now I will say the stealth.
I have not played Wind Waker since I was a kid. So,
Dude, Wind Waker. It was hard for me to even give the
so
game.
there's a lot about Wind Waker I don't remember.
It was hard for me to give the game a chance at all, and I'm still gonna try to beat it because I'm like, it was hard. It was hard. It's how you feel about Twilight Princess. For me, this is like, I was like,
I want to play Twilight Princess.
this
though.
art style. The art style was such a turnoff at first, but when I started playing it, I was like, okay, I see what they're going for. It's not, it's not my art style. It's not my. Obviously, this is not my version of Link. He's cutesy. That's what he is. I have to get past that. Got to get past it. Got to get past him being a little boy.
All the art style is cute.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Like Animal Crossing meets
Zelda. And for
way.
me as a kid, I was an edgelord, so obviously Twilight.
No,
Princess.
I was mad about it at first too.
Twilight
but then
Princess,
I played it and
I
was like, this is
gravitated
fun.
towards.
It's not so much the graphical style I like, but it's more so because I thought that Wind Waker was like fun, like really fun.
Yeah, it's a fun little game.
I did not expect to think it was fun when I played it. I was also like, what the crap? Like, what is this garbo?
And believe it or
And then
not,
I played it and I was like, dang.
believe it or not, that game was also rushed. They cut stuff to rush it. They cut full dungeons. In fact, there's a missing gap. I didn't realize this. There is a big gap at the beginning. You know, when you get the 3 stones, the 3 pearls, to get the Master Sword. There's another dungeon for the 3rd one that they never let you do. There was no 3rd dungeon for the beginning portion. They just skipped you going to an island.
Is that what you wanted to talk about, Seth?
Yeah.
That you completed the freaking.
Yeah, that's part of what I wanted to talk about.
That's pretty crazy.
Dude, sitting through the dialogue, also sitting through the mopey dialogue was getting annoying. You know, when they're constantly like, oh, there's no hope and blah, blah, blah. It gets almost like you get numb to it in a way. You're like, okay, we get it. The world's going to end. Okay, we get it. Can we move on? You people seem to be doing fine. What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
Like, why is there this? I'm a hero. Why don't you? This is something that always annoyed me about those games. I understand difficulty. Why are these people not helping Link? Why are they not giving him discounts on the stuff that like
at the shop? Yeah,
yes.
Dude.
Yes.
I don't know.
They're like, oh, still got to get 200 rupees for this giant bomb bag or whatever it may be.
For our hero, maybe we'll give him slide him a little something on the side.
You know what the second most annoying thing was? Getting to the ranch. That freaking boulder in front of the ranch in Majora's Mask. That you have to blow up with the powder keg.
I vaguely remember that.
There's the powder keg. You have to get it. So what I didn't realize, I was like, oh, this is going to be super easy. The Goron, there's a Goron who gives it to, derpy Gorons. I'm going to put a picture saying that. But this freaking fat, huge Goron.
That chick thing was,
oh, that was a guy. That was a shaman.
That was a
dude,
guy?
yeah. His lips are like,
oh.
He looks like he's seen better days. He's seen better days.
That guy was like.
Then you look at the chief from Ocarina of Time, and he's like this muscular, like tough looking, big Goron, really cool. Like Darunia. He's real tough. And then you got this like weird old man going.
Decrepit.
His lips are like drooping down. It's like you need to get cosmetic surgery. Huge. I was like,
so ugly, dude.
He was like, and it was so annoying because I had to go over to this icicle. I had to melt it with the fire arrows. I was like, oh, I can get the powder keg before I get the fire arrows. There's ice in front of it. I'm like, okay, so I can't do this quest. So I had to beat the whole dungeon. And then I had to get the fire arrows from the dungeon. And then I had to get the powder keg. So to get the powder keg, you have to move it on top of these hills. And he gives you this powder keg. And you have to blow up this thing by this racing track. So you have to go up these hills with this giant bomb that you're lugging around. And if it gets destroyed, he still doesn't give you the freaking powder keg holder. So you have those giant bombs. And if you fail once, guess what? You have to go up to him again, ask him, "Hey, can I have another powder keg?" And you have to throw it up the hill, throw it up the hill, throw it up the hill.
I do remember that.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh,
I had
this
to do
is."
that a lot of times.
It was so bad.
There's a lot of stuff in that game I had to do a lot. That's kind of how Zelda is, though, when you're a kid.
It was so bad.
But you don't know what's going on. It's just a lot of like trial and error.
Even agreed. But doing that was like, it was only annoying because I had to do the dungeon for the temple. I was like, I'm just gonna do the dungeon for the temple at this point. Yeah. I'll just get the gold dust at this point. The Goron race. I failed that a couple times. I was like,
that was fun, but
it was fun though. I will agree with you. It is still an awesome game, and I'd rather not have it be easy.
That's awesome that you beat that.
Yes, I did.
That is not what I thought you were gonna say.
I was disappointed by the Fierce Deity mask because you can only use it in boss rooms.
Yeah, so first, I'm going to show you something that I think is very cool.
So we got some Gen 2 artwork here.
Is this not so cool?
Do you think they're gonna remake it? I'm not saying that they will, but
no.
do you?
No, I didn't.
Well, they remade Gen 1 twice, though. That's the thing.
It's about like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Yes. I know that doesn't count, but it's still...
It does count, but they redid it in 3D, but it's like, we already got a sick...
Yeah, the remake of...
I guess they might try to do it in 3D, I don't know.
Because, yeah, Heart Gold and Soul Silver was an amazing...
I doubt it, though. I really do doubt it.
Did
Heart
you
Gold
play...
and Soul Silver was already great.
Did you play Fire Red and Leaf Green? That was the first remake of Gen 1. I never played it.
I know what it looks like. I never played
it. But I want to play it
I watch people play
bad because it looks so good.
It looks great. I'm just saying, like, I don't think they'll do it. They already did it once.
I know, but it'd be cool.
I know it wasn't 3D, but
it'd be...
if they do it, I doubt it'd be a full 3D game. I don't think they care much about it.
About a Gen 2, yeah, they don't care about.
I do, like I love Gen 2, but they already remade it and they did a great job.
Oh, they did a phenomenal job. It was just.
And I kind of like that it stayed pixel art, like pixely art. So.
Same. I kind of miss. I part of me does miss a bit of the pixel art style.
This is cool. I thought this art was really cool. Like just this guy.
Who drew it?
Some guy named Jelly Pixels.
Yeah, that's some talent there because, like I said,
really good. He does like a bunch. It's like he does one for.
Oh yeah, it's Game Boys, dude. That's real cool.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't notice that?
Yeah, I didn't even notice. I was so cool. Yeah, that's Game Boy Color, dude.
Yeah.
GBC, man, classic.
Game Boy Advance,
Represent.
where he has like inside there.
Dude, I love that.
He does one for like the OG.
Oh, dude, I remember that.
Look at that, dude. That is fire.
Recently, I got to hold one, original Game Boy DS, the original DS, which, obviously it's not perfect, but it was fun.
And yeah. God bless.
I'll catch you later. We'll see you.